Hey, welcome to the Empowered and Free podcast. My name is Erin Kimbrell, and I'm a counselor, certified life coach, breathwork coach, and small town mom of two. I know firsthand what it feels like to live with high functioning anxiety. For most of my life, I had so much mental mess, anxiety, people pleasing, perfectionism, overthinking, constant worrying, and never feeling good enough. On my decade-long journey to feeling better, I've learned how to take back my life from high-functioning anxiety and helped others to do the same through my coaching and breathwork programs. Now I want to share everything I know with you. This podcast will help you feel empowered over your high-functioning anxiety and free to finally live the life of your dreams. Now, grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and dive into the episode. I'm Erin Kimbrell, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast. Hey, friend. Today I'm coming on with probably a controversial topic. But you know me, I like to push the envelope a little bit. Today we're talking about why you need to stop managing your anxiety. Have you ever heard this term? How to manage your anxiety? If you take a little look on Google and you just type in like help for anxiety, that's one of the first things you're going to see pop up. How to manage your anxiety. Or you might even see how to cope with your anxiety. I talked a lot about this in episode 13 about how there are massive mistakes that you're making with your anxiety. And this is one of them. Thinking that you have to manage or cope with anxiety and that it's something that you're going to deal with and struggle with forever. A lot of times when I'll hear from people, they'll reach out to me and I'll say, what do you need help with? Or how can I help you? How can I support you? And they say, managing my anxiety. And I'm like, no, you do not. That is not what you need. And here's why. You already manage so many things. If your life is anything like my life, I feel like I am like at the circus with 50 balls up in the air all the time. We're busy. We're working, running kids to practice, trying to make dinner, taking care of yourself, reaching out to your family, hanging out with your friends, making time for your partner, trying to be a good parent. Like the list could go on and on and on. We are already managing so many things. You don't need one more thing to manage. Managing takes a lot of work, a lot of energy. Think of the manager of a business, okay? I talked about this on episode 13. Now, I was the manager at a mall kiosk for Proactive, the facial wash. You guys remember that? I think it's still a thing. Long story. I had acne for a lot of my life, but I worked at Proactive and I was a manager. Managing takes a lot of work. You're over all of the employees that work there. You're over all of the sales for the business. You're over all of the stock, keeping track of the stock. You're over scheduling. You're over opening and closing and the money and dropping the money off at the bank and all of the things, right? Being a manager takes a lot of work. So back to managing your anxiety. What does that really mean? Well, it means, can you keep your anxiety in check enough so that you can move throughout your day, right? Can you keep that anxiety just below the surface so that you're able to kind of keep going, keep swimming, like just keep swimming. And you're just trying to, again, keep it all under control. And we know that control, you guys have heard me share this, seeking control is a big need that causes a lot of anxious feelings. So can you just keep your anxiety under control enough so that it's managed, so that everything's okay, so that all the other balls that you're juggling in the air can work out and everything will be all right? Oh, I just feel exhausted even thinking about that. And I've lived that life. Back in the day, before I became a counselor, I was seeing a therapist. I was really struggling with mostly depression at the time, and I needed some help. I needed some tools. Obviously, I was also struggling with anxiety because that's something I've always struggled with. So through the therapist, she gave me a tool to use some journaling and how to work through like anxious thoughts when they came up. My kids were super little, and we were going on this tubing trip to the New River in North Carolina. It's up in the mountains. And tubing, if you don't know, you get in this big inner tube and you just float down the river. It's like a thing that people do here. Okay. In the South, you got to find things that are fun. Maybe you guys do that everywhere. I don't know. So here I am thinking about putting my very small children in an inner tube, floating them down a river, Knowing that I'm going to be in an inner tube myself, and there's very little control over me being able to get myself out of the tube if something were to happen, get myself out of the tube, go get the kids, like just a lot of fear. One of my biggest anxiety triggers was my kids around water. Maybe that's an anxiety trigger for you. Maybe you understand what I'm saying. I wake up on the day we're staying in the cabin that my husband's family has in North Carolina by the New River. I wake up and I woke up so early because I was just riddled by anxiety. I could just feel it all over my body. My chest felt heavy. I just remember waking up in kind of like a panicked state. I was like, okay, I've got some time. Nobody's awake. Let me get on my little journal and let me like sit with my thoughts and let me try to figure out what's going on here. And then let me take this thought and then let me try to flip this thought around. And then, okay, all is well and good. I'm not hating on any of that. Some of that is what I teach as well. The problem is me working through that journaling exercise and trying to calm myself down took probably an hour of my day, if not longer. And then when we were out on the water, I was constantly having to do that the whole time. Again, nothing wrong with it. A lot of my clients, when they're working through anxiety in the first stages, go through the same process. Like this type of anxiety, this is what you've been feeling for a really long time. It is going to take some time to work through it. So again, no harm, no foul. I'm not hating on it. However, if I had to do that every single day of my life for every single anxiety trigger that I felt, well, when would I have time to do anything else in my life? I would be constantly managing that anxiety, again, trying to keep it to a point that was like under control, that I could function and everything would be okay. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for all that. Like I've got a lot of other things going on, and I don't want to be wasting my time doing those things versus doing the things that actually help me move towards my goals. What would be a lot easier is healing the anxiety at the root so it doesn't continue to show up like that every single day anymore. Unfortunately, this is not common knowledge out there in the world. This is not what a lot of therapists and counselors and psychiatrists even are being taught. And that's hard because these are mental health professionals that we're trusting. I was trusting as well to help me. And they're only capped out at a certain level of knowledge. Again, I'm generalizing. I know a lot of amazing therapists and counselors out there, and everybody truly is doing the best they can with what they have, with the knowledge and the resources that they have. You don't know what you don't know. And just like before, I learned how to heal my anxiety at the root. I didn't know that. As someone who was a counselor who was supposed to be helping people with anxiety, I didn't know how to help myself with anxiety. And this is why I get a lot of people coming to me who have been saying, I've been working with a therapist for years. I've been working with a psychiatrist for years, but I know that something else is there. I want to get to the root of my anxiety. People are saying these words to me. If you go read some of the testimonials on my website, you'll see the same kind of things. People saying that they had more of a breakthrough with me in one session than they had in therapy for years. And that's just unfortunately because a lot of mental health professionals are taught this management model. They're taught to cope with anxiety. They're taught to prescribe medicine as a way to push through. You guys know I don't medicine shame. A lot of people take it and it supports them. It helps them. But I really think that we have to get to the root or we're doing ourselves a huge disservice. What is way better than managing your anxiety? Living in a calm, peaceful state. That's what's way better. Imagine this. Imagine that you're living with a constant buzzing noise. It might sound something like this, okay? It's hard to focus on anything else I'm saying if all you hear is that noise in the background. It gets frustrating, it gets annoying, and all you want to do is make that noise stop, right? Now, imagine a life like this. Imagine when that noise stops. You feel like you can breathe. Maybe you feel more calm already. You feel less irritated. You feel more peaceful. That is how life feels when you've been living with that constant anxiety, that constant buzzing in your body all the time. When it goes away, it's like, it's like a weight is lifted off your body. And maybe it doesn't happen quite as instantaneously as that just happened. Maybe it's not so quick, but it takes putting in the time and the work and the effort over and over to be able to feel like that calm and peaceful feeling more often. If you continue to just manage your anxiety, to believe that you're stuck with it forever, to just try to cope with it all the time, every single day, using all these different tools, you're going to be left exhausted. Like I said, there is a different alternative. You can live life free from that anxiety, knowing that that anxiety does not have control over you. If it shows up, if you have an anxious moment, you know exactly what to do to move through it. You've healed it at the root, and you go back to that baseline of safety and peace and calm from within. Nothing can shake you or rock you because you're strong and steady. And again, you've healed that anxiety from your body. This is exactly what I teach inside of Empowered and Free from Anxiety. If you haven't heard of it, Empowered and Free from Anxiety is my group program to help you live a life with less anxiety. Enrollment is open right now. If you're listening in real time, enrollment is open until Friday, March 17th at midnight. So make sure you hop in there and join us. If you're listening and it's past that date and you missed it, that's all right. Send me a message. I'll let you know when we're going to do another enrollment because I would love to have you. I'm going to play a little bit more information about Empowered and Free from Anxiety in just a second. And while you're listening, I want you to go back to what we just did, living with that buzzing noise and imagining that that's no longer there, because that could be your reality. In just 4 months, you could feel like a very different version of yourself, a version that feels lighter, more free, and happier. I would love to help you feel that way, my friend. All right, I'm going to share this information about Empowered and Free from Anxiety. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a good day. Friend, I know you're tired of anxiety controlling your life. You're tired of that tight grip that it seems to have on you. You're tired of letting anxiety hold you back from the life you want to live. I know that your deepest fears, worries, and regrets keep you up at night. I know that you constantly think you're a failure. I know that you beat yourself up every single time you make a mistake. And I even know about those worst case scenario thoughts that flood your brain all the time. You can't seem to turn off that part of you that is always overthinking a situation, always planning, always controlling and perfecting. And I know you're tired of believing all of those negative thoughts running rampant in your head every single day. Well, I think I have a solution that could help. Empowered and Free from Anxiety will help you take back your one and only precious life from anxiety. You'll finally learn how to feel less anxious, how to live your life as that carefree version of yourself that you used to be. You'll learn how to release control, how to be present, how to be mindful in those little moments in life that you can't get back. You'll have energy, joy, excitement again for life, and you'll finally go for those secret goals that you've been too scared to share with anyone else. You'll feel confident in yourself. You'll feel proud of who you are, and you'll know you're good enough exactly as you are. And that's all because of the step-by-step process that you'll learn inside of Empowered and Free from Anxiety to take back your life. I created this program as a way to help people who are where I once was. People who are ready to feel better, people who are tired of struggling with high-functioning anxiety. The Empowered and Free program will help you finally learn how to feel free from your anxiety. And here's how we do it. I'll walk you through a simple step-by-step process that will help you take action against your anxiety without the overwhelm. I break down exactly how to heal your anxiety into bite-sized pieces. I walk you through my proven method that will help you know exactly what to do if you have an anxious thought. And I do all of this by teaching you the right tools for your anxiety. When you finish Empowered and Free from Anxiety, you'll leave with a toolbox of tools, and you'll feel confident on how and when exactly to use them. But even deeper than that, I teach you how to get to the root of your anxiety to heal from those things that caused you to feel anxious in the first place. What happens here is you feel a baseline of peace, calm, safety from within, so that anxiety doesn't have that control over you that it once had. And as a result, you feel lighter, happier, and relaxed. This program was created with you in mind. I promise you, I know you're busy. I am too. We don't have time to waste. You don't have years in therapy trying to figure out why you're anxious. You need something that's to the point, that's concise, and that is effective. I know you want to see that difference in your life fast, and that's exactly what I deliver inside of Empowered and Free from Anxiety. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. The doors open March 13th through March 17th, 2023. And our first session is on March 19th. Let's get going, right? There are only 20 spots, so make sure you get in first if this is right for you. If you're ready to follow a simple step-by-step process that's proven to help you feel less anxious. If you're ready to live life as that carefree version of yourself again, and if you're ready to finally enjoy this one and only beautiful life that we have as that happier, lighter, more relaxed version of you, then make sure you join us. Do not miss this opportunity. I'm honestly not sure when I'm going to open up this again, and so you need to hop in if this is calling to you. Here's the reality, my friend. You could be living a life with less anxiety by the summertime. Who doesn't want that, right? If you are ready to join us, if you want to get in as soon as you can, head to erinkimbrell.com/free to claim one of those 20 spots. I am here for you all the way. I am rooting for you. I am ready for you to live a life with less anxiety. And I cannot wait to have you inside of Empowered and Free from Anxiety. I'll see you soon. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You don't know how much it means to me. If you'd like more behind the scenes content, inspiration, and daily reminders that encourage and uplift you, follow me on Instagram at @HeyErinKimbrell and send me a DM to say hey. If any of the episodes have been super helpful for you, please consider leaving me a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. It helps me so incredibly much, and it allows the podcast to be seen by other people who need it. If you want to learn more from me, head to erinkimbrell.com. That's where you'll find all my free resources, read the podcast show notes, and learn more information about my online coaching and breathwork programs that help you create the life you want. If you want to keep the conversation going from today's episode, join us in our exclusive podcast Facebook community, Empowered and Free, Help for High Functioning Anxiety. I'm here for you, and I'm always cheering you on. I'll see you next time. I'm Erin Kimbrell, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast.